Oh, I think we have Pilgrim from Chucklefish on the call. Pilgrim, how are you? It is so cool to have you on here.
Hello. Yeah, thanks for having me. I don't want to ruin your glowing commentary that you currently have running at the moment.
Oh, not at all. I think it's so cool to have a Chucklefish folks on the call. That just makes this so awesome. Let me just make sure your volume's high enough so everybody can hear you.
Chat, please do let us know if you can hear me, because I'm using the worst headset, so apologies.
Alright, using a sneaky thief I was able to get that village back, but I had to retreat my commander in the face of Nuru and her flying friends, the witch, the balloon, and the Florin Harpy. Very scary units. By the way, Pilgrim, I'm sorry, but we all call the various aeronauts harpies. Did you anticipate this?
I have no idea, because I wasn't part of the writing team. That would have been the lovely Abby. She is a fantastically talented writer. So all the cheeky quips and things that you may have seen here, you might actually see a couple of those jokes, and especially like the writing, come over from Starbound, because she did some of the writing for that game as well.
So the awesome dialogue from the bandits that I was praising earlier, that was Abby then?
That's all Abby. She's incredible. She's so talented. So I think she's Abby Chiro on... I'll drop it in chat. But you should definitely send her tweets and nice comments about her wonderful writing.
Absolutely. Everyone who's played through the campaign, especially the DLC, the bandits in the DLC were just incredible. Make sure to give them a nice comment on Twitch. Oh no, my army is getting devastated by Zeronic's forces. Look at that use of the archer to snipe my mage. You can tell Zeronix knows what they're doing.
How long ago was this match then, between you and Zeronix?
This was a practice match during the start of the last World Tournament, so I'd say months ago. We were both prepping for the tournament and trying out different things.
Oh, cool. Okay. No spoilers then, but if I was going to put my money on anyone, no offense, Zeronix, I'm betting on you, Sneaky.
That is extremely nice of you. I will say that Zeronix is the better player, but this was a practice match, so who knows what could happen.
Is Nuru your favorite commander then? Is that who you like to play?
Oh, I'm playing the twins. They're probably one of my favorite commanders, if not my favorite.
Oh god, have you accidentally set yourself on fire yet?
I think I did that during one of my first campaign run-throughs.
Myself and Super Console played the co-op campaign just briefly after it came out, and we both killed ourselves. Embarrassingly, on easy mode, because we tend to turn the difficulty down just so we can chit-chat and not have to concentrate on screen, what's going on screen, and we always end up dying. It's just inevitable. And then the community is just like, you're the devs, what's going on? Like, well, we were distracted by, there's too many cute dogs in our office, there's chit-chat, I like hanging out with Super Console, so we're not paying attention.
More than understandable. So focusing on the game, I've done a devastating counterattack here and put fire down on the map. That's going to make it very hard for Zeronix to reinforce this position because, as you heard from Pilgrim, anything standing in the fire, even a commander, will immediately be obliterated. The twins are one of the most tactical units in the game, as far as commanders go, because your opponent can always walk around the fire, but if your positioning is good, it can have devastating effects.
This is true. This is true. Super Console's saying that we're pro, actually, so I'm mistaking. Sorry, I'm just going to retract what I said a minute ago. We are professionals.
Absolutely. No one's more professional than Chucklefish.
I'm gonna just take what Emo's saying now and pretend I know what's going on screen and say, yeah, God, Zeronix looks really exposed right now. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, this is the best possible situation for the twins to be in. When you can get the fire in front of the stronghold like this, you can set up for an attack that will take it down, and it's very difficult to defend. From a strategic point of view, the best thing you can do is go around the fire and start attacking into the twins' troops, because the twins' groove won't chase you, it's just stuck there on the map.
Do you find yourself using the cooling water or the fire more often?
I've gotta say, I use the fire almost exclusively. I think in the campaign, I used cooling water during the mission where you're, can I say what the missions are?
Yeah, go ahead.
During the mission where you're stealing from Ragna, which was hilarious, by the way, I really loved, like, when Valder walks in, it's just like, Ragna, what are you doing? I did use cooling water to heal all my troops on the twin side of the map.
For those who are watching that don't necessarily understand what we're talking about, the commander that Sneaky Dragon is playing has 2 groups, which is kind of rare for the commanders in this game. I think they're the only one with 2. And they can choose whether or not to set fire to the floor or to send out a cooling, healing pool that decreases in time and the fire gets bigger over time. So it's really interesting. You have to figure out tactically what you want to do, but yeah. Sequoia is saying water for PvE and fire for PvP, which makes sense.
Now, normally when you set fire like this, you want to defeat the stronghold in a single turn. But I was only able to attack it once, so I'm gonna lose that knight. This is a very close match, because by sacrificing my knight, I could be giving Xeronix the win if I can't end this game. I'm losing my mage here too. This is an all-or-nothing play, guys. Let's see how it turns out. But remember, this was just a practice match.
I feel like you're just saying that, just in case you lose.
I am more than happy to admit that Xeronix will probably beat me 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair. I think everybody in the community would beat me. I'm terrible at this game. Although I am playing later today. And I feel sorry for Sequoia, who is my partner for that game.
That's a very hype matchup, by the way. I do have to be at my day job during that time, but I'm definitely going to watch the replay on Twitch.
I see. I think Barrett's looking to do some commentary over it.
Oh, that'll be very exciting.
Your knight's about to die.
That's okay. Backup knight. But is it enough? No, it wasn't enough. The stronghold lives. But I'm able to heal the sword twice and have it. Will it do enough damage, though? Will it do enough? Yes, the hero sword finishes off the stronghold for the win.
I don't think I've seen Barrett play as much as I've seen Barrett do the commentary for these games.
Barrett is like the wild card of PvP Wargroove. They don't go all the way through tournaments to make sure that their judgment, because you know, usually they're running the tournaments as unbiased as possible, but they're definitely a very skilled player.
I guess I'll see for myself now. I don't want to say that I've got a favourite here, but I do like Wulfar in orange.
Yeah, if the twins weren't around, Wulfar might be my favorite commander.
When we announced him, I think I labelled him as the hairy hammer daddy, much to the upset of everybody in the office.
I will say, though, the online community loved it. And they've been referring to Wulfar as such ever since.
Good. He deserves such a title. It's kind of romantic, really, right? He's hairy. He's got a big hammer, and he's a daddy. We also drew him for like Thanksgiving in just an apron. I think. I don't think he was wearing armor in front of underneath. It was very not PG.
The things we find out on stream. Wulfar is a very awesome character. I also like his very low-key epic rivalry with Caesar.
He goes off on like a kind of rant about the bourgeoisie dog commander. I absolutely love it. Like I said, Abby is such a good writer. I wasn't expecting that at all when I first read it. I was amazed.
That was one of my favorite scenes in the DLC. Caesar being my other favorite commander, by the way. I have too many favorite commanders.
Well, so sometimes I need an excuse to talk about the game, and sometimes I just want to talk about how much I love dogs and how much the office loves dogs. So I had International Caesar Day, I think back in December, and then we had an International Vespa Day because Vespa's pretty cool too, and I just wanted to talk about her. So we should probably have like a International Wulfar Day. I think that should just be Thanksgiving, if I'm honest.
That would be cool.
Email's asking, is it less PG than Buff Ryota? I think it's more PG than Buff Ryota. Buff Ryota is it's up there.
So is it true that every time someone says the words buff Ryota, the CEO of Chucklefish will make a request to mechanically buff Ryota?
I mean, the current build that we have in the office right now, it's just impossible to fight against Ryota. He's just too powerful. Ty sadly won't be joining us today, just because he's like so incredibly busy with Witchbrook. But if you do have any questions for him, I can ping him and see what he says. Super Console, who also works for Chucklefish, says, is Wulfar the next most popular commander? Surely it's Sigrid. That makes sense. People love Sigrid.
They really do. I think we had more Sigrid role players suddenly appear in the Discord one day than any other commander.
That must have been really confusing.
It was a little bit. I think there was like the first person to do it, who we thought of as Sigrid, but then when the second and third person showed up, it got a little bit confusing. Though Sedgehoon, who is playing Sedge true to form, is largely the original Wargroove roleplayer. They roleplay Sedge so hard that they will always pick Sedge when given the opportunity, even in tournament games. And if you hear them in voice chat, you will hear clips of Sedge from the game.
Sometimes I find it's a little bit of a shame that you don't get to hear sort of Call of Duty-esque smack talk between the players, but like role-played as the commanders.
That's a good idea, actually. I should do like some kind of, just like for fun, non-serious tournament where the players can get on Discord and kind of do smack talk while they're fighting, but like in the theme of the commanders.
Maybe for Wargroove's 3rd birthday, we can get some of the voice actors to play against one another and just like throw out lines.
That would be so cool.
I think that'd be very, very funny.
I'd really love to hear Errol Orla. Just hear them arguing with each other while they're fighting.
Whenever we did the initial streams for the DLC launch, I'd try and put on like terrible Scottish accents, and Barrett would just be like, no, please stop. This is painful. This is like a personal attack.
I've got to say, I've tried to do Wulfar as well. A lot of my early DLC videos about Wargroove had me trying to say, here's the plan, but I could never pull it off. It was so embarrassing, I had to stop.
It's fine. I don't have a deep enough voice for it, so it just sounded like a child trying to imitate Wulfar.
It was probably better than mine.
On screen right now, who do you think has the advantage?
Well, in a free-for-all match, the person who's the best at the game is usually rushed by the other players. But these are all very good players of about equal skill level. So I have no idea who's gonna win. Some of them are thinking, what? And some of them are thinking, hey! But joking aside, these are all very good players who I think could compete like on a world stage. So anybody could win, it's anybody's game, and if someone starts winning, the other players could gang up on them. So I have no idea who's gonna take this.
I'm surprised someone's playing Requiem, you know?
Yeah, the Requiem commanders are very fun and popular, but mechanically have been found to be just a little bit weaker. Though I know that Chappington in particular is a huge Dark Mercia fan and almost always picks them. By the way...
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
We're good. You go. You go.
I just had a question for you, actually. I wanted to know, were the Requiem characters deliberately made a little bit weaker to make it fair for players who hadn't unlocked them yet?
That's a good shout. I think the only person that would really be able to answer that would be Armagon. I don't think he's in chat. I think he's having some lunch. Super Console might know that, actually. She's in chat at the moment. I wasn't around for... I was around for the DLC being created, but towards the end. And even then, I am not privy to design discussion. This is why whenever anyone's like, Pilgrim, come on chat and talk about the game with us, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be very helpful. I wasn't around for a lot of the development. She might know, actually, that's a point. The Requiem army, are they a little bit weaker than the other armies simply because some people may not have unlocked them yet?
Just to let you know, there is a 20-second delay on the stream, so it might be a little while before Shu can answer the question.
The clan could do with another one of these.
Oh, Wulfar's voice is so great. Though I will say that the most difficult commander to unlock is clearly the most powerful.
Oh, fishing.
Absolutely.
All our games need fishing. That's the requirement. So if you're trying to publish with us at any point, the game needs to have a fishing mechanic in it. I'm just saying. So Shu doesn't know the answer. Yeah, we're clearly very insightful. Helpful dev team.
That's quite alright. I should probably actually do commentary on the FFA. I got so excited having Pilgrim in chat.
Sorry, yeah, you should do some commentary. Ignore me.
I will absolutely not, but I will do some commentary. We see that Sejun playing Sedge has gone very deep into enemy territory, taking out this village and giving Sedge some nice healthy groove. Completely ignoring the fact that Chappington is pushing with Dark Mercia right deep into their territory and is getting really close to their barracks. Meanwhile, Barrett is attacking Chappington with their commander. The only commander really I can't find. Oh, and here's Koji, and Koji is attacking into Barrett, so we have this kind of clockwise attack. I wonder who will come out ahead. Alright, Pilgrim, who do you think has the best unit comp right here?
I'm gonna get it wrong, but probably... do you know what? I'm saying Sejun.
More than reasonable. Sejun is the only player with not one, but two dogs. And those dogs are Quagmutts. Look at these adorable little guys.
I love their teeth. They have the best teeth.
Quagmutts are so cute. Do you guys do any Quagmutt merchandise?
I think we had the stickers, but they're like you get all the dogs with them. It'll be over on the Yeti. I'll drop a link in chat in case people are curious. But you can get the Caesar plushes and everything from there as well.
Absolutely.
Love dogs.
Caesar is such a good boy. Speaking of Caesar, I have another wild question for you. Have you ever, like...
I'll see if I can actually answer this one.
Alright. Have you guys ever thought to reach out to Inner Sloth, the Among Us folks, and see if they'd want to make Caesar a pet in the game?
Oh, that's a good shout, actually. We've definitely spoke, because obviously Caesar's in a bunch of games, like Rivals of Ether. Oh gosh, and the other one escapes me right now. Caesar's in a few games, though. We should speak to them. We'll find out. We have, the games industry is quite small, so everyone knows each other, generally speaking. Might be a good idea. So, Super Console, if you are listening. See, yeah, she agrees. That would be amazing.
I actually did a stream a while back where I had the viewers join me in games of Among Us, and we just started advertising Wargroove to everybody. We had someone named Sigrid, someone named Caesar, someone named Yoda OP. It was a lot of fun.
I'm surprised folks haven't done more sort of like Among Us streaming within the Wargroove chat. I know that people used to play other games in there quite frequently, but that seems to have stopped. I mean, I don't mind, as long as it's good for you guys. Although I did interrupt a match the other day, didn't realise we weren't really supposed to be distracting the players as they were playing, and I was talking in chat.
That's alright. You have a continuous invitation to interrupt any of my games.
Oh, okay. I'll pop in more often in future. I just don't feel like I had anything special. I just chat rubbish, which is, I guess, most commentary, I suppose, filling in gaps.
It is. At least 50% of everything I say is probably rubbish.
How is Sequoia doing right now, then? Because he seems to be going north with his commander.
Let me see. So, Sequoia is getting attacked by Barrett's pikes. And Barrett made a very efficient attack there, only taking a little bit of damage on a pike that can't be killed to bring Koji down to a manageable amount. I think Koji will have to retreat and heal off this 3 village in order to retain momentum here and not get pushed back. So Barrett RTS had a very nice defense there with very few units, very, very cost efficient. I will say of all the players here, Chappington is probably the newest, but not to be underestimated. They've gotten really good at the game lately. I think in my last stream, they almost beat me in a very even match. So I will say that they are someone to watch out for.
They've been making tons of mods recently as well. So if you're in our Discord, you should check them out. I think with Roboto.
Yeah, Robotas 7 made an amazing shadow mod that they're currently updating, adding new bug fixes, features, and balance patches. I did a stream and a video on it. They also do these really cool spotlight videos on their own YouTube channel. Quick 30-second clips of new commanders they're releasing for the mod. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's Robotas or Robotas 7.
Would I be okay to drop a link for that?
Absolutely.
I will find it and drop it in.
Alright, Sejun, being true to form, is going very, very aggressive. I think they have one of the deepest attacks, committing a commander and a sword to it, and stealing one of their opponent's villages. Nobody else has done that yet, except Chappington! Actually, Chappington is matching Sejun's aggression despite being a turn behind. That's pretty impressive. Robotus7 in chat saying that they updated the mod name to the Darkest Hour mod.
That's a pretty decent name.
It is very cool. I love the Hunger Commander. It's like playing kind of a different Valder. You don't get Groove passively, you can only get it by fighting. But if you do fight, you can lay up to 3 eggs at max Groove charge, and then have them, they're really weak, but if they bite things and then live long enough to bite something else, and then live long enough they can lay an egg and create more hungers. It's really hard to use, but really fun. It's like you're playing this swarm that just grows.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't touched mods in a while. It's been so busy over at CFHQ. I say HQ, none of us are working in the office right now, but I should play more. I should come join streams more. I should join in more. I will. Especially since we're going to be talking about Wargroove more in the future.
I am so excited for that. I have so many conspiracy theories on what it might be, like the secret dates that were in the Double Trouble thing, like the May dates that didn't have a meaning last year. Maybe that's this year.
I don't even know what you're talking about there, and I handled the marketing materials. What May dates?
So in the Double Trouble DLC, each mission has a date on it for when it happened, and the dates are in May. At the time,
Oh, yeah.
I was convinced that it would lead to the release of like a secret commander or something.
That's super secret. Yeah. Any other conspiracy theories? I'm curious. I won't obviously be able to say anything, but I'm curious what the community think Wargroove is.
So one popular conspiracy theory at the time is that, you know how there are these owl statues. Wait, no, they're angel statues. I thought they were owls all this time, but everyone was like, Sneaky, you're blind. They're clearly angels.
That's incredible.
Yes, I am incredibly silly sometimes.
No, that's cute. I love it. That's so sweet.
I think part of it is I'm rather fond of owls. But I was convinced that because Caesar can interact with the owl statues under certain conditions in the main campaign, that the super secret owl statue way off to the side in the final awesome mission of the DLC would eventually be used to unlock a secret commander. And the community tried all kinds of things to do it. It wasn't just me. Like, we had people posting videos of them standing on it with Caesar.
That's interesting. I like this. Okay, this is giving ideas anyway for the future. Armagon says, can confirm they are angels. Oh, that's the dream has died. I'm sorry.
That's alright. I think Chappington proved it to me yesterday with like a close-up picture from the wiki.
Oh, wonderful. Armagon's actually back in the chat now, so we can ask him about the commanders if you want to ask again.
Yes, Armagon! I wanted to know. The competitive community has noted that the Requiem commanders are just a little bit weaker than the other commanders. We wanted to know if that was on purpose, so that players who hadn't unlocked them yet would be on equal footing in quick play.
Well, let's see what he says. Oh, Emo made a wiki page on the campaign dates, which is super helpful. Maybe there is something in it. Maybe there isn't. Dun dun dun.
Oh, I love the conspiracy.
I feel like since I've got the command of a couple of people in this room, I should just start random conspiracy theories. Like, Caesar is actually a cat in a dog suit.
Oh!
And Wargroove is a cat faction. So Caesar's just going to unzip themselves, and inside is secret cat from the co-op campaign, you know?
I can't right now.
Hey, it's hammer time.
Oh, there we go. Armagon's responded. We're definitely careful not to overpower the Requiem commanders, especially since one of them takes a particularly great amount of time and effort to unlock.
That makes sense.
If we made them objectively the best commander, it would put everyone who doesn't want to play the campaign at a big disadvantage. Yep, that's fair.
That's true. Chat is commenting that I'm broken. Yeah, that catsuit comment was just too funny.
Sorry.
So more Wargroove conspiracy theories. Oh, but first, I guess I should do a little bit of game commentary. So we see
A tiny bit.
Chappington and Sejun are keeping their commanders very healthy. This will let them push, but they don't really have anything to back it up. All Chappington has are swords into Pike Dog, and all Sejun has are swords into Pike Spam. neither of them can really advance on their opponent, though Sechun is starting to take back the village Chappington stole. If we look at the economy, everyone is pretty close to even. I will say that Chappington is falling a little bit behind, mostly because Barrett RTS managed to grab one of their center villages. Ultimately, I think the players who are the most successful right now are Sechun and Barrett RTS, because they're both attacking and defending well, and they are corner allies. In an FFA, the person diagonal from you, you can't realistically fight them, and the better they do, they'll hurt the person attacking you, letting you attack the person who's attacking them. So you have this weird sort of loose alliance with them, and Barrett and Sedge's alliance is doing slightly better, but ultimately this is anybody's game.
I'm starting to feel good about the money that I put on Sedge at the beginning and our dark secret Wargroove betting ring that we have on Discord. That doesn't exist at all.
I will say, though, that we're noticing a really clutch play from Sequoia. This thief will be able to steal back this village, getting the village back from Sechun and doing huge economy damage to Sechun, so Sequoia's sneaky thief is really gonna pay off. Sechun built a rifle, maybe to try to stop that from happening in the future, but it is not going to make it there in time to stop the thief. Alright, so let's go back to fun conspiracy theories. I have to say that the #1 most requested feature for Wargroove, based on everything I've heard, has been timers for scenario maps. And while you guys are here, I wanted to ask, what was the decision to keep scenario maps kind of like a different kind of map?
That is 100% an Armagon question. Since he was basically talking to Groove Warlock and the overall community last year to figure out what kind of timers work best with what scenarios and things. He definitely is the person to go to for that.
All right.
So, Armagon, if you will answer, that would be lovely. What would be the most ridiculous timer, do you think? Like a 10-second timer per unit, so you can't actually... Like, you have to move your unit.
It's an interesting question. So, the silliest timer that exists right now... Actually, all of the timers I found pretty useful. I will say the 30-second turn timer. It's difficult to play a normal game with the 30-second turn, but we use it for blitz matches. I think Alsame Suzaku's stream made it very popular. And then there was this huge hype period where everyone would do 30-second blitz matches. They're very hard because you can't build a lot of units. You just have to build, like, a lot of swords in the beginning and then try to move them all very quickly. It can be a lot of fun.
I guess that's why people like watching, where is it, speed chess?
Yes.
Ooh. There we go. Armagon says, scenario maps were a way of differentiating between maps that can use the event editor and those that can't. Timers were designed quite late for multiplayer, so that had a knock-on effect and not really being factored into the map properties.
That makes sense.
Yeah, timers were super, super late. I remember that happening, definitely.
In any case...
The thing is as well... Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, a lot of people don't necessarily understand when we're talking about, like, balancing commanders out, for example, or even tweaking little bits, bobs on either units or buildings or, you know, those kinds of things. They obviously have such a huge impact on some of the puzzle maps that we have. And having to, like, rework those is very, very difficult. It's a lot of work, and obviously as a small team, it's not something that's viable. So whenever we're thinking about making changes and those decisions, it tends to be, well, what's the scope of the work? How can we do this? I know this is a requested feature for this. Oh, sorry, I know this is a requested feature for X, but it's going to have this amount of impact on Y. So a lot of the time it's trying to get it right the first time round, and I think that's what we're going into Wargroove with, is understanding needs and requests, and I suppose obviously he's trying to keep the fun element into it as well before we kick off, actually.
That makes a lot of sense. The community's been making a lot of puzzle maps too, so this is something that affects them as well.
Yeah, we don't want to break things for people who've like spent a lot of time and effort into making their campaigns and their puzzles and things. It just doesn't, it upsets everybody. The flip side to that is, obviously, we're not going to get things 100% right on the first go, as much as we would love to. Which is why the kind of feedback from community and as well as like the beta testers for Double Trouble and everything, they're just completely invaluable. I appreciate every effort that people have put into that.
Absolutely. We know that even just the release of timers was a lot of work for you guys, especially considering you were working on other games at the time. So on behalf of the community, I have to say thank you very much for that patch. It made a huge difference.
Ooh, no worries. Armagon's still typing away. Says, timers being a setting in the map property is something I'd personally like to see at some point. We only had 2 coders on Wargroove at the time, so we had to juggle our priorities and decide what was most important to delivering a satisfying game. That is completely true. At the time, we only had Karen, which is, I think she's Krakow, and Amzeratul. Yeah, poor Amzeratul was already stressed, and I basically hounded him and Ty for that. Yeah. Because Armagon was basically the go-between between the community, along with Shu, to deliver all the feedback that was coming through. So it was about prioritizing what was kind of important to both yourselves as players, but also to us as a team and what we could scope and things. It's hard developing games, really hard.
Absolutely. For more Groove theories, I think, just based on what I've said, one of the biggest theories is that Wargroove will introduce skirmish map settings for scenario maps to enable things like timers and the other settings. That's something that a couple people predicted. I think there were a few commander tweaks with regard to groove speed that a couple people predicted. Buffing Sigrid is something that a couple people have talked about. Sigrid is one of those weird commanders that everybody thinks is really strong starting out, but then once they play the game a bit more, they realize that it's kind of easy to work around her. So she's got this super popularity, but on the other hand, she's a little bit of a meme commander. What's your take on Sigrid?
Playing, a lot of fun, but I don't play competitively or very seriously. I'm not good in this game in the slightest. Such is the way of being a developer who's bad at their own game. Usually I will pick something a little bit more fun. I like playing Wulfar over picking Sigrid, but Sigrid's, just kind of more has a meme status now than... I haven't seen the meta in a while, actually. The SABC list. I haven't seen that for a long time.
I should probably make a new one anyway. That being said, I've been mentioning on my tier lists that they don't really apply to casual play. I think with the release of 2.0, you guys did an amazing job balancing the commanders as far as casual play goes. I think any differences in strengths or weaknesses aren't really noticeable unless you get into competitive.
Would you see a difference between the commander's strengths and stats between multiplayer and casual to be a problem for the community, or would you prefer that they stay the same across the board?
I think casual is in a really good place if competitive is. I think casual is in a good place even if competitive isn't, as long as it's close, because casual games are decided more by who makes the... how do I best describe this? Who makes the first game-winning big brain play. Because casual players don't know how to defend perfectly or attack perfectly. And this is describing me when I just started, like, a lot. You'll see these games that one player's winning and then all of a sudden a lethal comes out of nowhere. Or you'll see these games where one player's winning and they lose their army and then they push back. I don't think game balance impacts casual games unless it's just ridiculous, like unless something's just completely overpowered. Which is why I think you guys did a really good job balancing PvP for casual. I think it's in a great place. In competitive, though, little differences, like, just the fact that you can kind of work around Sigrid's groove can make her pretty weak in competitive play, so the tier list starts to matter a lot. I think Koji, Ragna, Caesar, and Yoda right now are in a place where you're kind of playing a different game if they exist, because you almost have to pick one of the other ones in order to be able to compete with them. But that's only for competitive. I think in casual they're fine.
I've seen a lot of Greenfinger recently, watching people play. Maybe it's just practice matches and things, but I have seen him pop out a few times this year, at least.
I want to see more Greenfinger. Greenfinger is a commander that, aside from the top 4 I mentioned, they're very strong. I think they're as strong as anybody else. And they're one of the hardest commanders to play. They take a lot of tactical ability. I know that Cleaner Code in particular plays a really nice Greenfinger and has started practicing and getting better with them.
I think we're going to have to get some commentary on what's going on in the game, because I'm a little bit lost myself. Everyone seems to be converging into the center.
Right. So all players have more or less given up trying to attack their opponent, because everyone in this game is good at defending. Due to the fact that you can only reach your opponent through these small bridge areas which are guarded by forests, or kind of this really edge-of-the-map kind of plains forest situation. The defenders are favored if you try to attack that way. All players tried it, failed, realized this, and are now going to the center because they've discovered that these center villages are more easy to contest. As the players converge on the center, commander grooves will start to come up, and we're going to see a free-for-all bloodbath as they try to take out each other's commanders. So there's a catch here. You only want to defeat a commander if you can capture their properties, otherwise you're just feeding their properties to one of your opponents. And you also have to be careful, because even if you do capture their properties, you might end up in a situation where now you have 2 enemies teaming up on you. Chappington makes a good point. Although the attacks were rebuffed, the commanders got a lot of groove out of it.
That's fair. I didn't realize Wulfar had his groove up because he's right in front of the lava biome stuff. I guess that's what it gets for being orange.
That's actually true. Orange commanders being sneaky in the lava biome. New meta right there.
It's not quite quagmuts in the forest, but
Yes.
it could be.
I've gotta say, I was doing the Quagmut thing long before people announced it. In fact, if you look at some of my early tournament games, I would almost play exclusively the color green, but I never told anyone why. And then I think, like, I don't know if it was Red Jams or Barrett, somebody released, like, some kind of thing saying, hey guys, this is a thing, and I was like, oh darn, the secret's out now. Well, it might have been Chappington. I don't remember who did it, but somebody spilled the beans.
It sounds like something Chappington would say, definitely. I must say as well, shout out to Emo Chappington for essentially populating the entire wiki at the moment. Put all the codex on there the other day, which was super, super helpful for anyone that wants to just read through the lore and look at all the pictures that you can unlock without having to unlock them. Oh, Barrett seems to think it was Red Jams. Oh no, have I broken Sneaky again?
Oh no. I'm just looking for something. I apologize. It occurs to me that there's something I wanted to put on the stream that I thought would be pretty cool, but I can't find it.
Oh no. Oh, we'll wait. I'm sure it's worth it.
Oh, here it is. Alright, let me see if I can do this real quick. Alright. Is it this? Okay, I hope I don't mess this up. Alright. There we go. So, I wanted to show you this. I actually made a thing that's an example of every one-shot in all of Wargroove. I guess you'll see it in 20 seconds.
20 seconds,
but yeah.
Sorry.
Alright, I'll swap back to the game.
Oh, wow.
Every single one.
Oh, wow. How many are there? There must be... Christ.
I don't remember exactly. I think it was 225.
Oh my goodness. I like that you've picked the Cherry Stone example there. I'm trying to get a picture... I'm assuming that people understand that we are a big dog fan company, but if anyone wants to see where we kind of got ideas for the Quagmuts, I will upload a picture of Tolstoy, which is one of our dogs from the office.
Absolutely.
I'm just uploading it to Imgur. Give me a second. And Tolstoy is a grumpy old man. He's wonderful. I'm going to drop it in chat.
Let loose the Quagmuts of war. Oh, that's beautiful, Armagon. Oh, I think the stream is just alright. Yeah, they're a little bit behind. I probably should have made the delay shorter. It's just since I knew we'd be having Chucklefish folks and like a lot more people on, I wanted to make sure that if something went wrong, I could quickly like kill it with the delay.
Yeah, that's a good plan. You've always got a plan for this kind of thing.
I don't have like a recording studio or anything fancy, so there's always a chance that something unusual could happen, so I gotta be ready just in case.
Is there anyone? Is there any way to add people to this call that we're having currently?
Absolutely.
I wonder if Armagon is free, if he'd like to come join us, because he has some really good insight on design, especially like the meta and numbers and things like that I just don't have insight to. Since he's kind of been there from day one, obviously he understands a lot of why decisions were made that might be kind of interesting for people.
I have to say, embarrassingly, my Discord foo is not very good, but I would love to have Armagon on if you know how to add them to this call.
Let's find out.
Just to distract everyone while we're figuring this out, it looks like Sequoia has let loose their first wave of Koji bombs, and there is nowhere near enough anti-air on this map to take them out. This will give Sequoia a very nice defensive position and let them push out into Sejun. Sejun will have to watch out because Sequoia is going all in with this attack. Barrett RTS is not really in a position to punish it, having started a fight with Chappington. Barrett was very smart for building multiple archers, especially with a wagon nearby to transport them, as these units will be able to defend against Koji bombs if Sequoia tries to push to the north again. However, Sejun is also a big threat. Will Barrett try to maybe allow Sejun to go down and try to defeat Chappington in the meantime? Doing some big damage to that rifle, which was threatening their units. We see Wargroove come out, moving the pike out of the way. But Shappington has a nice solid line here. It won't be too easy to attack into this. And even though the rifle was damaged, it can still get a hit out on the pike. But with half health and that mountain defense, the pike is not going down anytime soon.
I think you're gonna have to add me as a friend, but Armagon said he's happy to join us, which could be fun.
Awesome.
But if you add me as a friend, I can start a group call.
I would be honored.
Friends! Yay, there we go. I will start a group chat. Give me a moment.
Stand by. We are combining voice chats.
Cool. I'm going to put the phone down here and I will ring you. Oh, I guess you have to ring us in that voice chat. Alright, I'll speak to you in a second.